Hi everyone, my name is Joris Peels, and this is another edition of 3D Printing News Unpeeled. And today we're going to be talking to you from, well, a couple of things, some good news, some bad news, and some happenings and going on. The first is with Jabil. Jabil had high hopes for additive manufacturing. I think it still does. It's had a bit of a confusing time in additive, though. It made materials, made polymer parts, made metal parts, and it also in Albuquerque started a competence center in 2019 where it was going to expand a site by $42 million. And one of the things it was going to do at that site in Albuquerque was to make it its main kind of experience center, expertise center for metal additive manufacturing. The company already does a ton of stuff, like they do packaging, they do implants, they do a lot of stuff like this, and they want to do metal additive manufacturing implants. They hired about 400 people for 3D printing at the site, and now they're going to do some layoffs. They're cutting 130 jobs in September, and they are doing some other layoffs across the company as well. So they're basically cutting. What has happened is that Jabil has essentially lost some kind of contract. We don't know which one, in some kind of metal additive manufacturing application for implants. And they are letting go of a bunch of manufacturing engineers, technicians, including 37 operators, like machine operators, and it has to do with the shutdown of this business. So they're essentially they tried to get this manufacturing business, and they did not succeed, and they shut down the line, they shut down the unit, and they're getting rid of everybody. So that's, seems like kind of pretty drastic reaction, but they're in the kind of this EMS business, this electronics manufacturing, contract manufacturing business. It's typically very, very thin margin kind of thing, big contracts, and a lot of potentially, good, strong developments if you stick in there for the long term, if you make solid financial decisions. But there's not a lot of wiggle room in contract manufacturing. So these guys don't really get to be sentimental. So this is not some negative 3D printing news, just these guys lost a contract to somebody else, maybe, I don't know, Tangible or somebody, I don't know. So yeah, this is sad for these people, but if they are these machine operators and researchers and stuff that were looking for jobs, perhaps somebody else has some jobs for them, namely Ursa Major. And these jobs will be in together with America Makes at Youngstown in Ohio. So a little bit different weather, I would assume, than Albuquerque, but Ursa Major is actually set to expand. So it previously already started an America Makes kind of research center. Now the propulsion company, essentially Ursa Major makes propulsion units for heavy lift space, and also for rockets. It's got a line of engines for either missiles or big rocket systems, and it's developing these. And it's got a really big order book. And one of the big clients it has is the AFRL, Air Force Research Lab, which is doing wonders for 3D printing. And another big client they have is other DoD, Department of Defense type of clients. And now they're going to be putting in $10 million of their own money, $4 million of America Makes money into a new expanded additive manufacturing research center, advanced manufacturing lab, with $4 million coming from a Jobs Ohio grant. And that lab is basically going to do a lot of metallurgy research, a lot of things for the Arrowway engine, which is the black one in the middle. It's our national security engine. You can tell it looks very national security-ish. And heavy launch vehicles. So it's going to be a lot of deep metallurgy, deep understanding of copper, nickel alloys, deep understanding of developing, using these, and it's all going to be happening in Youngstown. So that's part of course, America Makes mission is to reindustrialize America for additive, so it can make very advanced vehicles. And part of that, of course, centers around Youngstown. So I think it's a very astute move by Ursa Major here to do this, and they probably need such a lab anyway to really look at developing these alloys and look at managing them and testing them and stuff like that. So why not do it at America Makes hometown and make America Makes happy? It seems like a really solid, very politically astute kind of move on their part to do something there, and I think that's great from their way. That's a great thing for them. The next thing is from this is news that I think should be a lot bigger news. So this is from BioNTech and Triastek. Triastek is kind of a material extrusion pill manufacturer, 3D printing company for pills and manufacturing pharmaceuticals and that kind of thing. So the idea there is they have manufacturing technologies. There's other companies like Kraft Health and FabRx that do this as well. And essentially, they develop devices that allow you to take an active pharmaceutical ingredient, API, take some kind of other material, mix it together, and either through extrusion or, well, there's other ways of doing it as well. You could do it with inkjet, for example, or you could do it with SLA or that kind of thing. But mainly, people are really working on extrusion now or inkjet. And then you can make new pills. So you could try to, as a pharmaceutical company, make a test run of certain pills, or you could change the release kinetics of that pill by, adding holes into it, or making sure that it kind of, it releases quicker or at a certain point, or you could put a pill in a pill, or you could put 4 or 5 medicines together that release in a certain order. And there's a lot of excitement about this. Nobody really knows where it's going. Is this going to be hit medications? Is it going to make for combined medications of the future? Nobody knows, but certain companies are having a lot of success with it. And the idea there is that you can, with existing IP, you can come up with the new pills, or you can come up with a new personalized treatments. We could get a different medication just based on our weight or the presence of a certain antibody or whatever, right? So it's a very exciting area, but now companies are putting real money behind it, and that's really, really good. So at the moment, they're looking at release kinetics, changing the release kinetics so that a drug, an oral dosage form, gets delivered at a particular place in the intestine, and that particular place dissolves. So not just randomly, not just in the intestine somewhere, not just somewhere in the gastrointestinal tract, but at a specific place. And so they're looking at these optimal geometries, look at these release kinetics. And what's going to happen is they're going to get an upfront payment of $10 million, always nice. They'll get, if they hit certain milestones, they'll get additional payment. Oh, sorry about that. And then that could all add up to about a total that may exceed $1 billion or $1.2 billion. And that comes in the form of milestone payments, and then maybe even future royalties if the product is successful, and that's the money that BioNTech is covering. Now, this is quite amazing, actually, because we were seeing that, well, first off, bringing a drug to market is incredible. And some certain people with the spirit have tried to do this with 3D printing, but other people are saying, no, we are a platform for you to bring your drugs to market. And we're seeing some incredibly sized deals, like from Fluid Form, for example, which got a lot of money. Aspect Biosystems got hundreds of millions as well. And now Triastek is getting 10 million or more. So it seems like working for these drug companies to accelerate their development ends up being like probably the best thing to do, and it ends up being like huge payments. Imagine if they managed to, just from this one deal, this company get $1 billion. They could be like, somewhere like 8% of our entire industry. Just one company with this one drug deal with one pharmaceutical company. So that puts things into perspective, but also shows that certain companies like Fluid Form, Aspect, or Triastek could now grow much, much faster, much, much quicker than the rest of our industry. And there's a lot more opportunities in there like that in pharmaceutical 3D printing, or also just drug delivery, or also just bioprinting more generally as well, that could have similar opportunities. So I hope you found that interesting. My name is Ursa.